This pattern predicts a $65,000 Bitcoin. Hey guys, what's going on? Jebb here, and in today's video, I'm going to be showing you the major inverse head and shoulders pattern that is now formed on the Bitcoin chart. This inverse head and shoulders pattern shows that we should be approaching $52,000, which I am calling the gate to all-time high, because if we break through 52K, we should be on our way to all-time high relatively soon, perhaps in the next 3 to 6 months. This inverse head and shoulders pattern is making that prediction. So in this video, is Bitcoin going back to all-time high, or is the rally that we're experiencing over the last 2 weeks just a bull trap? We're going to talk about all of that and more in today's video. So without much further ado, guys, let's go ahead and dive right on into it. Ever since the beginning of January, we've been having a conversation on this channel as to whether or not this pattern would turn into an inverse head and shoulders pattern. As of yesterday, we have confirmed that it is now an inverse head and shoulders pattern. How do we know that? Well, Bitcoin rallied up to what we're calling the neckline right up here between $45,000 and $46,000, and Bitcoin is actually retraced down to $42,000 and is now rallying again. This is what we know as the right shoulder. This right here is the left shoulder. This is the head. It looks like a smiley face, but it's actually an upside down head and shoulders pattern that looks like that. Got the little smiley face right there. And this inverse head and shoulders pattern can give us a price target. The way you use a price target on an inverse head and shoulders pattern, or as we also call it, an IH and S, inverse head and shoulders, we can go ahead and draw a price target right here by extrapolating from the top of the head down to the neckline, and then all we have to do is take this price, draw it from the neckline, which is this shoulder this line right here. That right there is your neckline on your body. It's very similar on the chart. We extrapolate out and we look to the upside. If we look at the daily chart, that points us to $64,000 to $65,000. But there's one thing stopping us. Actually, there's two things stopping us. What we need to see first is we need to see Bitcoin confidently break 46K. That is the neckline of the inverse head and shoulders pattern, and until we break that, the inverse head and shoulders pattern has not begun to play out just yet. It has formed, but it has not begun to actually play out. Until we see that break, we can call it an inverse head and shoulders pattern, but it has not actually been confirmed and started to move in that direction just yet. After $46,000, then we will have to see Bitcoin break $52,000. Why $52,000? Well, 52 is the level that we used as resistance multiple times here in December. We also used it as resistance here in September and here as support in October. We also found quite a bit of support on it back here in early 2021. This $52,000 I am calling the gate to all-time high. If we are able to break 52K confidently, then I believe that we will go to all-time high in the next 3 to 6 months. By the way, I still think we're going to go to all-time high in the next 3 to 6 months. I'm mainly just saying this because this is the next confirmation that we need to see. Now, a couple more things I want to show you. Out here on the weekly chart, we can see that there is actually some massive bullish RSI and MACD divergence going on Bitcoin. This is one of the reasons why I believe that we are going to see that run. If we look at Bitcoin, we can see there's an uptrending level of support right here on the weekly chart, downtrending level of support here on weekly chart MACD, and downtrending level of support here on RSI. All of that tells us that we are seeing long-term bullish RSI and MACD divergence, and that shows us that the market is going to go into a pretty large uptrend. So here's the point. The technicals are telling us that in the short term, I mean over the next 7 days, we're going to see a rally. The technicals are also telling us in the long term, I'm talking about over the next 3 to 6 months, over the rest of this year, that we're going to see a rally. The on-chain metrics are telling us that we're going to see a rally. The only thing that I could see that would stop Bitcoin from going back to all-time high in the next 3 to 6 months would be some massive cataclysmic FUD story coming out, such as the conflict on the Russia-Ukraine border. If that actually broke out, then that might scare markets and that might shake things up for Bitcoin. But unless we see some massive trend change happen in the traditional stock market that would lead to a lot of FUD in Bitcoin, Bitcoin, in my opinion, is very likely to be on its path back to all-time high, and that's why I am calling $52,000 the gate and key to the future of Bitcoin. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button, make sure you subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and make sure you go back and check out my interview with Charles Hoskinson, the founder of Cardano. Phenomenal interview. He talked for 43 of the 45 minutes. I just kind of sat back and let him go to town, said a bunch of amazing things about governments, about governance, about inclusive accountability and decentralization, and how Cardano and other blockchains are helping to solve some of the world's biggest problems. Great interview. I'd love for you to check it out. And also make sure to check out the Cryptocurrency Technical Analysis Academy. That's where you can learn everything you need to know about technical analysis. You can find all those links in the description box down below. Anyway, guys, before I go, I do just first want to thank each and every single last one of you for watching, as always, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace. Hey, you made it to the end of the video. If you enjoyed this video, you should definitely consider subscribing because we're trying to help you become financially free in these cryptocurrency markets. And also, consider following us on Twitter @CryptoJebb for more updates on the price of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. Peace.